The images we are about to show you are disturbing. We urge viewer discretion, but these are images that the nation, that the world must see. These are images of Pakistan's state-sponsored terror. The image that you see on your television screen is of young Safa Qadri. She is currently in a hospital in Srinagar. She was shot at and injured when terrorists targeted her father, Constable Saifullah Qadri, in the Soura area of Srinagar in Kashmir. On India Today, we show you the real face of Pakistan state-sponsored radical Islamist terror. A terrorist outfit, the TRF. This is a front for Pakistan-sponsored Lashkar-e-Taiba. Pakistan-based terrorist organization Lashkar-e-Taiba has claimed responsibility for this strike. The silence of the otherwise very vocal Kashmir experts lobby is also deafening. Young Safa's father, Constable Saifullah, that's the information that is available as of now. He had just stepped out of their house. He was on leave, he was at home. He just stepped out of his house in Soura when terrorists, apparently armed with pistols and small arms, they shot at him at very close range. They fired indiscriminately. Little Safa, that little child that you see on your television screen, she's battling for her life. She's critical but stable. Now she ran out of the house to save her father. And these radical Islamists are believed to have shot at her, injuring her too. They left her bleeding on the road to die. This is truly the Frankenstein's monster. The monster of radical Islamist jihad that is now killing people in the valley. The brave Jammu and Kashmir Police personnel, they are actually the backbone of India's war on Pakistan-backed radical Islamist terror. Now joining me on India First are reporters from Jammu and Kashmir, but I quickly want to cut across to India Today's Pooja Shali for more on the story. Pooja, what more can you tell us about this firing, and most important, how is this little child right now?
Gaurav, this has been a gut-wrenching terror attack today in Srinagar, Soura, and I've spoken to senior police officers and the details are mind-numbing. Because what they are telling me is that this constable of the Jammu and Kashmir Police, Saifullah Qadri, was on leave and has now become a pattern to even target and attack police personnel who are only going back home on leave. These are unarmed men. This man had just come out of his house in Soura in the Ghani Mohalla, and that is when the terrorists charged at him, fired at him indiscriminately. He receives gunshot injuries. Now his 9-year-old daughter is nearby because he's just walked out of his house. She witnesses and watches the shots being fired. She rushes to save her father, clung on to him. She clung on to him till he died. The terrorists did not spare the child either. We are being told by our sources that she also was shot at. She's currently at the hospital, and while her situation is stable, she's critical. There has been heavy blood loss that she has suffered, and her situation is being monitored. So imagine the trauma that the child also has faced. And the wreath-laying ceremony is where senior police officers have said they will ensure action, but importantly, this is crossing all humanity when the terrorists target even children of police personnel who are unarmed off-duty. Gaurav.
Clearly no humanity. Terror, and especially radical Islamist terror, it knows no humanity. I mean, we've seen it across the world. We've witnessed it in Jammu and Kashmir in the past. We are witnessing it yet again. I want to cut across to India Today. Sunilji Bhatt joining us for more on the story. Sunilji, where was Constable Saifullah Qadri posted? Do we have details? Was he specifically targeted? What more do we know about the perpetrators, the terrorists?
Well, Gaurav, no terror organization has taken responsibility of this, cowardly terror attack so far. But Saifullah Qadri was a, policeman selection grade constable with the Jammu and Kashmir Police Department, and he was on leave, he was at home. And we have seen in the past also that the terrorists have targeted the policemen or the army jawans from Kashmir Valley who go to their home during their leave period. And again, terrorists have, indulged in a very cowardly terror attack, and they have targeted a selection grade constable of Jammu and Kashmir Police, and they even did not spare his 9-year-old daughter. She was also attacked. She has also received bullet injuries, and there has been, as Pooja was saying, heavy blood loss. Her situation is being monitored. But Gaurav, this is emerging as a big challenge for the security agencies in the Kashmir Valley, this new phenomena of targeted killings. And these terrorists are not using any, they are not using AK-47s or any other, heavy weaponry. They are using pistols, and these pistols can be kept in the pockets, and that's what is happening these days. And it's very difficult to check each and every person in the Kashmir Valley, particularly in crowded places, in Srinagar and other places. And in the recent past, Gaurav,
I want to quickly bring in Ashraf Wani into this conversation. Ashraf Wani joins us from Srinagar. Ashraf, help us understand what kind of radicalization is this that these alleged hybrid terrorists, that is what we are being told, in their day job, they could be amongst you and I, they could be doing anything, and suddenly they are handed a weapon, they are given a target, and then they targeted this constable. Do we know why Constable Saifullah Qadri was targeted and by whom? Do we know more about this new form of hybrid terrorism?
Absolutely, Gaurav. This is the basic and main concern for the security agencies here in the Kashmir Valley. Yesterday, I spoke to the Inspector General of Jammu and Kashmir Police, Vijay Kumar, here in Srinagar, where he get some revelations which are really very, very shocking. During last 1 year, 130 pistols have been recovered. And in fact, that full interview is on our channels, in fact, on our social media, where he said that this is the major threat because the 15 pistols which were recovered yesterday from 2 unknown TRF terrorists in the Srinagar locality were brand new. They were transported from the Jammu area of line of control or international border, and then the weapon consignment reached Srinagar. And what he said that we are not aware that we have only prevented 15 hybrid terrorists to become the tools for killings in the Kashmir Valley. That is the big achievement. And also the number 130 pistols. That clearly means that it is the new modus operandi where these small weapons are being used by the militants who are hybrid, who are not known, who have not any kind of intelligence record with the security agencies. They commonly mingle with the people on the streets, in the roads, they are anywhere and can target anyone, anywhere in the Kashmir Valley. And what happened during the last 3 months, we have seen this kind of modus operandi was used in the killing of the Rahul Bhatt, in killing of another policeman in South Kashmir. Then in fact today, in the same way, where these militants were waiting outside the residence, they had the input that he is at home, he was coming out with his child, and he was indiscriminately fired where
Shocking
daughter
and
is
shameful.
injured.
Absolutely. We'll have much more on this big story at 11 o'clock tonight. We'll have Pooja Shali, Sunil Ji Bhatt, Ashraf Wani joining me on India Today. Justice for Safa remains our top focus story.